Hey guys, today is Monday, December 7th. The time is 3:15 p.m. and the temperature right now is 0 degrees Celsius. This is Bay Street. I am turning north onto, and I'm about to make another right here onto Queen Street West. And the plan for this one is to head straight through the intersection of Queen and Yonge, where I'll be traveling eastbound on Queen Street East. And I'll be riding almost the entire length of Queen Street, at least the eastern part, to Victoria Park Avenue, and then I will head north up to Victoria Park Station. So this is Yonge Street. Once I get to the other side of the intersection, Queen Street West will become Queen Street East. So I'll be heading across the east side of downtown and then into the South Riverdale neighborhood once I get over the Don River, and then I'll be passing through the Leslieville neighborhood and then the Beaches neighborhood. And then I'll be on the border of Scarborough, where I'll head north. I'm not sure how long this ride will be. I didn't really look that up. Probably somewhere a little over 12 kilometers or so. This is Church Street. I don't want to play around in the right lane with it blocked off like this. And this is Jarvis Street. If I sound a bit muffled, that's because I am wearing a mask on this ride. I don't normally wear a mask when I ride my bike, but I'm just seeing if this will help combat getting a runny nose in these colder temperatures. And this isn't even something I would have thought about trying in previous years. That's the Moss Park Armory on the left. And this is the Moss Park neighborhood I'm passing through, which doesn't have the best reputation on the east side. And that's Moss Park itself on the left. And this is probably the most notorious or well-known intersection on the east end of downtown, Queen Street and Sherbourne. There's always a lot of interesting characters hanging out in that area. It's not uncommon to see police cars and ambulances. And there on the left is Kim's Convenience, where the CBC show is based. Struggling a bit to get my words out. I might have to take this mask off. Here is Berkeley Street. and Parliament Street, so I'm almost all the way through the east side of downtown. This is extra tricky with the streetcar tracks on the left and street parking on the right. There's a homeless center just on the left right here. And this part of East Downtown is known as Corktown, named after a county in Ireland where a lot of the early immigrants to this neighborhood came from. They were mostly of the blue-collar variety. And I think I'm just gonna take this mask off. Every time I talk, it wants to flap around in my lips. So much for that experiment, but it was worth trying. This is Sumac Street. You could take that north. Well, you couldn't because it's southbound in that part, but you could walk north up it to Cabbagetown. And here is River Street. So this is where King Street West, or King Street East rather, merges into Queen Street and King Street ends. That's the Humane Society on the left. And the Canary District on the right. That was built for athlete housing for the Pan Am Games. And it's been repurposed into condos and public housing and a college and other various facilities. And we are heading over the Don River right now and the Don Valley Parkway, and this is the Queen Street Viaduct. This is an old viaduct that's been replaced a number of times. And I have entered the South Riverdale neighborhood. And I seem to be going directly into the wind. That's always good when you're on your bike in 0-degree temperatures. That's the 501 Queen Street streetcar on my left. That'll be heading all the way to the Neville Park Loop. And that's right in front of the water treatment plant. And here at Broadview Avenue, the King Street streetcar would turn left and head up to Broadview Station. That's the Opera House on the right, a popular live music venue that is currently not operating. In fact, most of these stores aren't open to in-store customers. None of the restaurants are. Looks like there's a small lineup at the LCBO liquor store. And once I head under this railway bridge here, I'll be in the Leslieville neighborhood, which for a very long time was rather blue collar. But at some point in the 2000s, it flipped a switch and became a highly desirable neighborhood. And the last time I was out this way was on a live stream. I certainly didn't think I'd be doing a bike ride down it in December, but here we are. This is Logan Avenue. There's a 505 Dundas streetcar. I'm guessing that turns north at Broadview and then heads down Dundas. Here's a car with a New York license plate. I don't really feel like squeezing through there. I guess this person is what the province would deem to be essential, or rather the federal government. This neighborhood's really well known for its bars, restaurants, and boutique shops. And while you could say it's gentrified, there's not a whole lot in the way of big corporate stores. It's really sort of maintained a lot of its original character, which is quite unique these days. If you're wondering, how do you dress for a bike ride like this? I don't think I'm a particularly good person to take advice from. If I'm just wearing jeans, I do have what you could call long underwear on underneath. And a long sleeve t-shirt, and a light sweater, and a heavy sweater, and then a large, heavier sweater on top of that. It seems to be handling these conditions fine. And what is this guy doing? Is he parked? Why is he so far off the curb? That's absolutely terrible. Maybe I'll engage in a race with this streetcar. So this is Jones Avenue. You could take this north right up to where the eastern end of Greektown is on the Danforth. When the streetcar lights are flashing, you do need to come to a stop and not go past them. That's a common criticism you'll see of cyclists in Toronto. They'll often just continue on through. And if you're ever getting off the streetcars, definitely stick your head out first and take a good look to your right to make sure no one's coming up. I was thinking of doing a ride that, once I got to the beaches, went down to the lake and came along the waterfront, but I think I'll save that one for a weekend morning. I'm also thinking of doing a ride along the waterfront. But I've never actually ridden up the part of Victoria Park Avenue that I'll be heading on this ride, so it's always interesting to see something new and different. And this is Greenwood Avenue. So you could take that north up to the East Danforth Village. Here's a streetcar yard on the right. Gotta be super careful with these tracks, especially with these skinny little tires that I have. You always want to hit them at an angle and confidently. There's a neat historic property I just went by on the left. I've talked about that on previous videos. And it's kind of spooky seeing it so dead around here. And in this situation, you always have a decision to make. Do I go left and cross over the streetcar tracks to go around that parked vehicle? Or do I stay in the lane and just make sure that they don't fling their door open? And this is where I believe Leslieville comes to an end at Coxwell Avenue, if not just past here. You could take this south down to the beaches. And just on the right here is where Greenwood Racetrack used to be. It was the most urban horse race track in North America at the time it closed. It was a harness track. And those operations were relocated to Woodbine, which is right in the neighborhood of Pearson Airport. And this is Eastern Avenue. So this will go south and then it'll bend to the right and you can take that into downtown. And on the left is Kingston Road. I'll be crossing Kingston Road when I go north on Victoria Park Avenue. There's a bar there called Murphy's Law. I remember going there a few times. It's a rather neat place. And I've mentioned this on my live streams, but I've been eating almost exclusively at smaller locally owned businesses or restaurants. When you see something like that, you can just hope that nobody was physically harmed. Those police exercised good caution in running the red light there. And there's a country-style donuts on the left. Northern Dancer Boulevard, named after what is probably the greatest Canadian racehorse of all time. Perhaps that was Izvestia. Sarah Ashbridge Avenue. The Ashbridge family had a lot of places named after them. No, I wasn't paying attention. Glad I caught it though. Have a nice day. I was looking at that street sign when I entered. I don't think the light was flashing, but when I started to approach it, I saw it blinking in my periphery, so better safe than sorry. I don't think that was accurate when I said I wasn't paying attention, but I'd rather be non-confrontational. I find whenever you have a confrontation with someone and they're friendly and apologetic, things go over a lot smoother. Come on. She actually said she was sorry. I was like, what the heck did you do wrong? You pressed the button and started walking. That's a Canadian trait. Americans have often noticed that when they come to Canada. Our first instinct is just to say, I'm sorry. And this is Elmer Avenue. There's a bunch of school kids playing in the yard. I don't know what school that is. And things are gonna get a bit dicey. We got street parking on the right and a crowded lane on the left. You just have to anticipate every one of these cars is gonna fling their door open. And this area is really known for its restaurants and bars. There's the old beach mall. And that there on the right should be Kew Gardens Park. And just to the south of that are the shores of Kew Beach. There's actually 4 sandy beaches that form the beaches along one continuous stretch. There's Kew Balmy Beach, Scarborough Beach, spelled A-R-O, not A-R-O-U-G-H at the end. Woodbine Beach. And I think Kew Beach. My brain's a little scrambled right now. I'm sure I got one of those wrong. This area is certainly a lot more lively than the eastern part of Leslieville. And we are quite a ways from downtown now. And on a busy weekend, The transit option to get out here is either the Queen Street streetcar, which frankly takes forever, or you could hop a bus from one of the Line 2 stations and just come straight south from the Danforth. And that's probably the quicker option, although the more scenic would be the streetcar. Scarborough Beach Boulevard, S-C-A-R-B-O-R-O. I don't know why it's spelled differently. It's probably not named from the same source as the former borough of Scarborough and Glen Manor Drive. So just up ahead here will be the R.C. Harris water treatment plant, which is a really gorgeous old Art Deco style building. It's been featured in movies as an old prison. And just to the east of it is Toronto's Secret Beach. I filmed a video there this summer. If you're interested, that's one of the more interesting videos I filmed all summer. I'd say I'll link it in the description, but I know I'll forget. So you can just search Secret Beach, Johnny, or some combination of that, and I'm sure it'll come up in YouTube. The Church of St. Aidan. And on the left is Scarborough Road. Whoa, that's a big hill. I do not want to climb that. But Scarborough was spelled the more traditional way in Toronto. And this is the end of the line for the Queen Street streetcar, the Neville Park Loop. And you can take that streetcar, providing it's not short turning, west all the way to the border of Mississauga in a part of the town or city known as Long Branch. And there's the R.C. Harris water treatment plant on the right. Let me just muscle up this little hill here. And here is Victoria Park Avenue. So I'm just going to go turn around. And I think I saw a nice little hill to climb once I start going north on Victoria Park. Well, this is sure going to suck. But before I do that, a quick look at the water treatment plant. There's been a lot of construction going on all year. It's a rather stunning view of the lake on the other side, and that Secret Beach is just on the left. I'm just going to wait for a break in traffic. I normally like to not stop and keep my videos as one continuous ride, but that was kind of worth checking out. And now it's time to kill myself. So this is the start of Victoria Park Avenue. I don't know if that hill looks like much, but on a single speed in this weather, it certainly doesn't look like fun. Oh man, I can barely move. Some gorgeous houses here on the right. Why did I not look at this on Google Maps before I chose the route? And this is going to be a mostly uphill jaunt all the way to Victoria Park Station. If you're wondering, I'm basically putting my entire weight on each pedal. This is stupid. It would be less effort and quicker just to get off and walk. Oh man. Whew. Let's hope there's nothing else like that on the way. I apologize for the breathing. Whew. And hopefully my camera battery doesn't die. They don't tend to last that long in the cold. So this is a neat look at a residential neighborhood, the Neil McNeil High School. And just up ahead will be Kingston Road. Traditionally, Victoria Park Avenue is the dividing line between Toronto and Scarborough. Although now Scarborough is part of Toronto.
Thank you.
Or it might even be East York. I'm drawing blanks on everything right now. This is a very busy retail stretch. And if you followed my bike ride from Scarborough Town Center to downtown, you would see what that stretch of Kingston Road looks like. There's a streetcar turnaround right there. And there's been a lot of talk of the city removing the Scarborough Brimley bike lanes lately. This part of the city always seems to get the short end of the stick, whether it's transit infrastructure or cycling infrastructure. A road like this would be a good candidate for a bike lane. It goes all the way down to Queen Street and the beaches. And it's connected to a subway line. It'll also intersect Eglinton Avenue more to the north. This is definitely an older, more suburban part of town. And at those apartment towers way off in the distance should be about where Victoria Park Station is. And that is where I am heading. I am not going to ride back. And I only have one partially charged backup battery with me, so it's not even worth doing to squeeze a second video out of. Oops. This is Gerrard Street East. I think this is the part known as Upper Gerrard. It comes to an end at Coxwell. Then you have to go south for a few blocks and it'll start up again in the Little Italy neighborhood. And from there you can take Gerrard all the way to downtown. And I know this area. I used to play softball in a few different fields around here. And just up ahead should be Danforth Avenue, which will be part of the East Danforth neighborhood, often referred to as Danforth Village. Ooh, it's going to be nice to get inside that nice toasty subway station. And if you saw the video where I crossed the street and a car almost hit me, that was this intersection. No, traumatic, why did I say it that way? Traumatic memories here, folks. But you can just see how unfriendly this built environment is. It's very cold and wide open feeling. When you live in the city or in more urban parts of the city, going for a walk is a joy. It's not a chore, but around a neighborhood like this, it definitely feels like a chore. You just don't have the visual stimulation that makes a long walk feel short, and that's one of the reasons why I don't really record walks through neighborhoods like this. I don't think people would be particularly interested in watching them, and I'm not particularly interested in making them, so that's that. And here is the subway station on line 2. I think it opened in 1966. It sits just to the north of Danforth and Bloor Street. There's another park just to the left of here where I used to play softball. There goes a westbound train. I hopefully will be on the next one. And here we go. Maybe I'll leave the camera running while I head up to the platform. Let me just get my mask out. Clear the sinuses out. Get the mask on. Gotta get my wallet out of my backpack. I hope you enjoyed this trip from downtown Toronto all the way across Queen Street East. That's the wrong pocket. I thought my wallet was in that one. There we go. Through East Downtown, South Riverdale, Leslieville, the beaches, and then up Victoria Park Avenue. Let me get my trusty Presto card out. Hopefully I didn't take so long I missed the next train. I realized I unhooked my camera strap, maybe. This is going to be a bit of a bouncy walk. I unhooked my camera rather than my backpack, so it's just kind of dangling here. And the next train is just rolling in. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this ride. If you wish to support the channel, there are links to my Patreon account in the description, as well as Instagram. And channel memberships are available on the main page.
The next station is Main Street Station.